Hello, everyone. We have a new moon in Sagittarius coming up on December 19th. So I'm just here to do a tarot reading, pull some cards to see how this is going to impact us. I'm really excited about this new moon because Sagittarius, it's all about exploring, adventure, expansion, whether that's, like finding new places, new opportunities, or expanding your mindset and your way of thinking. It's all about optimism. So, pairing that with the new moon, it's like, what is it that you want to manifest? What new projects, new adventures do you want to go on? Some of you could be going on some vacations or maybe learning more in school. I know right now can be a big time for finals. So, if you haven't finished your finals already, good luck. And if you did, I hope you get amazing grades. So I'm excited for this new moon. I think it's just going to be a big time of new opportunities and staying grateful, staying positive. Like a big thing about this new moon is it's like you're going to attract what you put out there. So instead of worrying or overthinking about something, just go with the flow and have fun and take into account how is this already playing out in your life right now. Okay, so for example, something for me would be like my business growing and getting monetized on YouTube, things like that. So instead of focusing on not having the views I want or whatever, I'm going to focus on how things are already going in my favor. Like I like the new setup I have. I'm having fun doing my readings. And, instead of being annoyed about, the day to day, like admin work that I have to do, like be grateful that I have to do it because that means I'm making a business and it's happening. So I think a lot of this moon has to do with the power of perspective, having gratitude, and also having fun. Okay, yeah, Six of Cups wanted to pop out a little bit there. So some of us could be tapping into maybe the wonder and optimism of our inner child. Maybe that's going to be the area where we allow ourselves to have fun and be optimistic and just kind of go back to that childlike energy, not being childish, but having fun like a child would. Okay, so I'm going to finish shuffling up the cards here. And if this is your first time viewing me, my name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension. I've been doing tarot, studying tarot for how old am I? I'm 27. Since for 8-9 years now. So it's been a while. My channel, I've had it for 6 years, so I'm very grateful to be able to share these messages with you. And if this resonates for you, let me know with a like, a comment. Definitely subscribe, help the channel grow, and share this reading with a friend, family, a foe. Ooh. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Let's get into it. Whenever I do the full moon, new moon readings, I always like to see in the deck where the card is, because I have a moonology card that'll go along with all of the moon cycles. And I feel like whatever it's surrounding is a message. And this is the only readings. Oh, we found it immediately. These are the only readings where I do that. I don't know what drew me to it, but let's get into it. So, okay, so new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. Absolutely. So again, this is a time to literally count your blessings. Even if not every little thing is going how you want it, there's some things that you can be grateful for. There are some things that are leading you up to your overall goal. So instead of focusing on the big picture, allow yourself to notice where's the fun, where's the blessings, where's the gratitude. And remember, what you put out is what you get back. So keep luck on your side by not complaining and not focusing on what's going wrong, but focusing on what you have to be grateful for. There could be a lot of blessings, a lot of opportunities, a lot of just things, a lot of synchronicities coming together. So I really like this energy. Okay. It says, don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. So some of you guys could be dealing with the fire sign with the Sagittarius and Leo energy, or maybe you're feeling a little bit more fiery, more passionate, more ambitious, ready to take action, feeling confident. We like that. But don't let pride get in your way. So, yeah, this can mean a few different things, right? So, we all respond to ego and pride in different ways. But with this new moon in Sagittarius, it's like, remember that it's not all on you. You know, you don't have all the answers, you can't control everything. So instead of getting bogged down by that or being forceful or letting your ego shine through, remind yourself that I'm just a human. I can't control all of this and I wouldn't want to anyways, right? So don't fight having to fall back a bit. And instead of feeling like that's some sort of punishment, use that time to have fun and explore and be optimistic. You know, this is um like something I've been doing lately. Instead of like worrying about stuff, I'll just do a spell about it. You know, if I'm worried about some money, okay, I'm not going to force, I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to do a money spell, you know? Pray about it, meditate on it, journal about it, whatever. But don't feel like you have to have all the answers, because that's just not possible, you know? And a new start is coming, new moon, absolutely. So I like that we have 2 new moon cards. Obviously, this is a big time for new beginnings, new chapters, out with the old, in with the new, especially because this is our last new moon of the year. We're getting into 2026. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of new things. So, allow yourself to be patient as those are rolling in, and remind yourself that spirit, the universe, everything wants you to win more than you want yourself to win. You know what I mean? Whatever, has more faith and more trust. So lean into that rather than feeling like you have to force or anything like that, okay? So I like that energy. I like what we're looking at. Okay, just going to stack those up there. All right, so let's get into it. All right, we also have surrender to the divine, full moon, expect powerful change, new moon, eclipse. So yeah, lots of big things coming through, and your greatest job is to surrender and have gratitude and have fun during this process. And I know that can be hard, especially whenever, you know, it's something that you really care about, or you want to make sure things unfold how you want them to, but we can't control. And instead of getting upset, surrender. Have fun. Okay, let's talk about it. So I have 2 decks I do with my full moon, new moon readings. This glow in the dark deck, the black and white, kind of represents our shadow or the things we're releasing or the things we're having to work on. The light seers deck here is going to represent your higher self and some of the blessings that come through. So let's see about it. All right, we have the Devil, the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, I think for some of us, we could be dealing with a bit of impatience here with the Devil and the Knight of Pentacles. Just because something may take its time to unfold does not mean it's never going to happen. It doesn't mean you're behind or you're not doing something right. Don't let timelines, comparison, convince you that something isn't coming your way. Because the Nine of Pentacles here shows us that we are going to have success. We are going to thrive and get where we want to be. We just have to be patient getting there. Okay? With the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Emperor. Ooh, and the Empress, 2 of Cups. Okay, hold on now. There could be some divine partnership coming through here. If this is not involving another person, this could be something like your masculine and feminine energy balancing out within you, which is really important, especially whenever new things are coming your way. Because the feminine energy is all about sitting back, attracting things, going within. The masculine is about taking action, you know, interacting with the external. So you need to have those balanced so that way you're not trying to force or control, and also not being too passive and just feeling like you have to give up, or, you know, kind of twiddling your thumbs before something comes through for you. So that's an interesting energy there. With the Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands, there's definitely going to be some clarity about that Devil energy, about this maybe impatience. I think there's going to be like a renewed sense of like, wait, no, I can do this. And while things are unfolding, you know, like for me, for example, while my business is growing, I'm continuing to focus on my physical health and, getting my yoga teacher training and other certifications and stuff like that, instead of just, trying to force my social media and my business to grow at a rate that's not sustainable for it or for me. So I like that. I like what I'm seeing. All right, we have the Star, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. Okay. So I feel like this new moon is helping us surrender the fear that we might have to be in the spotlight, right? And obviously that's different for all of us. Not everyone wants to be like a famous person or on TV or online even. So, don't take that as like, oh my God, I have to be, famous. Like, no, that's different. But taking up space, being your true, most authentic self, these things I feel are going to be challenged. And instead of relying on your comfort zone or hiding yourself or overthinking in those moments, I feel like we're learning to really surrender and just keep working on the things that actually fill our cup. And through that, I feel there's going to be a lot more recognition for you. So that's neat. Okay. Let's go through and clarify everything. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way for myself. Boop. Okay, let's start with the Devil, the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. Tell me more about that, please, Spirit. All right. Ooh. Okay, there's the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, the Chariot, the Two of Swords. Okay. Interesting. Okay. With the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, there's clearly a desire for forward movement, for action, to maybe even be a little impulsive. Some of you, this may include traveling or moving. But it's like I'm seeing in my head, what's his name? Ricky Bobby, whenever he was a little kid in Talladega Nights, and he's like, I want to go fast, I want to go fast, I want to go fast. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing and seeing. Okay. But I feel like Spirit is saying with the Hermit, the Two of Swords, that could be blocking some things here. And the Hermit, it's about going within, taking your time, isolating even for some of you, and really thinking through something. I feel like Spirit is saying, do not be impulsive right now. Like, you can take a risk, but don't be mindless with it. Like, be mindful. Really think something through. You could go towards a new opportunity, a new promotion, or, whatever. Collaborating with somebody, but don't let your desire to get to a certain goal make you act impulsively. That's what I'm feeling with that. Very interesting. Okay, I want to look into the Chariot and the Knight of Wands a bit more. Yeah, the Five of Wands. See, the desire to move fast, to get where you want to be immediately. And that's very Sagittarius energy. Like, they're very like, let's get it done. Let's go here. Let's do this. Da 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 da. But yeah, don't let pride get in your way. It's like, you don't have to be there immediately. You don't have to be the first one to cross the finish line to still be proud of yourself. And I think that's an important lesson to learn, so that way you're not rushing around, right? Because sometimes we want to get somewhere immediately, but if we're not ready to be there, then we're going to fumble it. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Spirit is saying, trust that you are going to get where you want to be, and you're being guided that way. But it's okay to move slow. It's okay to kind of pace yourself. Yeah, they don't want you to make a silly decision. Think something through. And again, it's not to say that you're not going to get where you want to be, but just take your time with it. All right, tell us more about the Hermit, the Two of Swords. And we have Capricorn energy, Virgo energy, Cancer energy. Ooh, we got a lot. Six of Cups, Ten of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, King of Cups. Yeah. you guys have a big goal, a big desire. Like you have your eye on the prize for sure. And it's nothing small. So I understand the desire to get it done, to see if it's going to happen, especially when it's a big dream and it's like generational wealth and you want to make your family proud and be able to take care of everybody. I get that. But there can be like a really tight grip on that because maybe you're going to be the first person in your family to make it in that way. Or maybe you come from a family like that and you want to make everyone proud and continue on that family legacy, right? So it feels like there's a lot at risk, and that can make you be impulsive or really be really controlling about something. But it's like, just relax a little bit, okay? You have to keep in control of your emotions, and not to say you don't feel them. Like, feel them, but don't drown in them, like, just because you feel like, oh, I'm not moving as fast as I can, sit with that feeling before forcing yourself to go, you know sit with, why do I feel like I have to do it this fast? Why do I feel like da 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 da? Could it be because you think if you're not moving fast, it's not going to happen? And that's something to sit with, rather than just responding to these feelings, sit with them. Because with the Ten of Swords, the Six of Cups, yeah, it feels like this is maybe an inner child wound, right? We saw this kind of flip out earlier. It feels like there's a part of this process that is rooted in maybe childhood wound that is being cleared right now, which is beautiful because we need that to be cleared and integrated so that way we're not self-sabotaging. You got a lot on your plate right now. I see that, I feel that, but there's going to be progress with it. So let's keep going. With the Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. So that's like clarity on maybe the shadow, clarity on how you're moving, and just feeling more capable, more powerful, having more trust. It feels like you're cutting through some illusions here that are the result of some sort of inner child wound. So let's see. Tell us more about the Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune, there is some change happening. We also have the Death card here. So yeah, big shift is occurring here for you. That's really good. Okay, good. Okay, that's too many. Come on. That's too many. All right. The Seven of Swords flew out here. So yeah, I just feel like there's a level of maturity that's coming through. Like you're growing up. Instead of feeling like you have to be impulsive or lie, cheat, and steal, force, we're allowing ourselves to surrender. We're allowing ourselves to have faith, right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long something takes if you believe that you're where you're supposed to be. If you believe something is your purpose and it's what is meant for you, then there will be no need to overcompromise and force and lie, cheat, and steal. You know what I mean? I always used to say, like, if people put the same amount of energy into living out their purpose and being their true selves as they did, and as they did with scamming and things like that, this would be a whole nother world. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot of effort to be moving on that energy. I like this. Yeah, I feel like you're moving towards a lot more stability and leaving behind force and things like that. Yeah, it's like you're realizing, you know what? The universe is always on my side. So why do I feel like I need to, beg, borrow, and steal? And I'm also seeing someone who feels like their dad is like a not a negative cloud, but like something that weighs on them. Like they're always trying to impress their dad, or they want to be as good as their dad, or they want to make their dad proud. Sound like I said dead dad, and I didn't mean to say that, but maybe that's an energy out there. I don't know. All right, let's get into the Star, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, because I feel like this is like talking more about that transformation that's happening. So let's see. Tell us more about this energy. Well, it looks like with the moon and temperance, there's going to be some harmony in regards to an aspect of the shadow. And again, we have that death card. So yeah, a lot of transformation is happening. And it's beautiful because it's like you're making peace with something, you're accepting something, you have harmony and a deeper understanding. A shift in perspective has happened. Yeah, this is like that energy of Sagittarius, and temperance is Sagittarius's card. This is that energy of being able to expand on something, to have a different perspective. And I think this shift in perspective is exactly what you need to get that ball rolling in the way you want it to. Okay, what else is going on? You have the Two of Pentacles, the Lovers. Okay. There's definitely some balance. Okay. And this could be balance in your relationships, in whether that's romantic or just someone you're really close to, someone that matters a lot to you. This could also be getting clear on what does matter to you. You know, like this makes me think of, I have vision boards here, and this is my vision board for like what I want to do for my career. My vision board over here is how do I want to do that, right? So it's not that the end goal is changing. I just think your approach to it is changing. And you're allowing yourself to look at the cup half full. And there's that optimism and that, excitement coming in there, rather than letting your fear dictate the operation, It's like you're saying to yourself, well, this does matter to me, but I don't like feeling like I have to compromise so much, or feeling like I have to rush and prove myself. Because at the end of the day, if I wasn't meant for it, I wouldn't feel this passionate about it. I wouldn't be so drawn to it. So I need to stop using my actions as a means to validate myself or prove myself. I just need to believe it. And that's that. And then from there, you move with a lot more optimism, a lot more trust, a lot more faith. You're actually having fun. And through having fun, that's when your manifestation comes through so much quicker, Because whenever you're moving from control and force, it's like you and your goals are on a hamster wheel and you're just chasing, chasing, chasing. But once you finally stop, then the hamster wheel slows down, and then it's like you're here, and then your goals are like, oh, now I can catch up to you. Your goals should be chasing you, not the other way around. Okay. All right, so let's see about this Emperor, Empress, Two of Cups. This might provide us with some clarity about that Lover's card too. So let's see about that. Okay, we do have the Eight of Cups, Page of Swords. Okay. All right, and for signs, we have Aquarius, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries. Lots of energy. Okay, let's see here. Okay, for some of you, Eight of Cups, Page of Swords, you could be walking away from a partnership, or yeah, I feel like it's walking away from a partnership. And maybe with the Lovers, the Two of Pentacles, maybe you were putting a lot of energy into this partnership or something, and you're bringing it back to you, regaining your focus. Four of Cups, Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's like you're wanting something new, something exciting here. Let's see. Some of y'all could really be dealing with a Leo. I feel like you're trying to follow your happiness, and that may require you to disappoint some other people, but that's really what your focus is right now. Tell me more about the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, Eight of Cups. The Four of Swords. Yeah, you're pulling your energy back from somebody. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. This could represent your parents or grandparents, siblings, a boss even. Yeah, it's like I feel like you were giving a lot to these people or whatever, and it was weighing you down. And I feel like You freeing yourself is helping you get focused again on the things that actually matter to you. All right, anything for the Lovers, Two of Pentacles here? I'm just having fun, you guys. They're just pulling cards. Oh. All right. Ooh. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords. Yeah. I feel like you would love it if this was a balanced connection, or if it felt like everyone was pulling their weight, or if we were all on the same level, or even if we aren't all on the same level, we each have something we're bringing to the table. And I feel like you feel very much weighed down by this, and it feels like, yeah, it feels like you feel like, not that you're better than anyone, but you're just operating in a different way than this person, which I feel makes you pick up a lot of slack. And I feel like that's not what you want out of this connection or relationship, because you have so much you're working on already outside of that. It feels like the energy of someone who just doesn't have a lot to offer other people at this moment. As in, you've got a lot you're focusing on. So if someone needs your help, or if someone, it feels like you have to hold someone's hand a lot, and you don't have the capacity for that right now. And that's okay. Okay. So right now it's feeling like there's just going to be a lot of clarity about what you want to give your attention to. And then once you decide what that is, not letting, childhood wounds, other people's opinion, forcing, controlling, maybe feeling like you're not good enough or whatever, not letting those energies sabotage you. Not letting pride get in the way. Because pride can be playing out in all of that, right? Pride can feel like, well, if I don't have a partner, or if I'm not, around these people a lot, then that means I'm a bad friend, a bad partner, a bad person, or whatever. If I don't do something in a certain amount of time, that means I'm not good enough. I'm taking too long. It's never going to come. When I was growing up, these are the things I was told. These are the things I saw from my family, my parents. I want to be like them, or I want to make them proud. And that's great. Of course, we all want to make our parents proud, but we can't be doing something just to make our parents proud. You know what I mean? What kind of life is that? All right, so I definitely see a lot of shadow integration happening, and just getting clear on what it is you want to pour your energy into, and then even clearer about how you want to approach that, and not letting the fears or the low vibrations get you to act out of character, or get you to approach something in a way that actually doesn't work for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the Light Seers deck, see what the higher self says. I think this will be fun. Okay, we have the Lovers, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun card. So there could be a new opportunity in love, or this could be something where you've kind of find like the business partner of your dreams, or a perfect investor, or you want to invest in something. Okay, with the Sun, the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands, Five of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords. Okay. All right, I brought a lot of cards out, so let's see about everything. Okay, with the Lovers, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun, I feel like this is an energy of kind of like what I said, like the opportunity of a lifetime, whether that means romantically, friendships, new opportunities that align with your purpose and your passion. I'm excited about that. That could look like a new job. It could be moving. It could be starting a new relationship, moving in together. You know, there's a million different ways that can play out. Okay, with the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands. I like this. Both of these kind of have a light around their third eye, their head, crown chakra. So I feel like there's going to be some enlightenment in regards to the family, your generational wealth, your abundance, and things like that. I think it's kind of like what we were picking up on earlier, and not letting the past, the doubts, the fears, the inner child wound, not letting those things dictate how you show up for your wealth and your abundance, you know? We have the Five of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. You're very determined. I will say that. This is someone who is very determined, someone who is very, very focused and is willing to do whatever they need to do to accomplish a dream, a goal. Okay? But we want to make sure this is not centered around confusion, anxiety, fear. And with the Ten of Swords here, I think that there is going to be a big shift in that approach. I like that. Okay, Ace of Cups, Judgment, the King of Swords. We end up following our truth, following our heart and our soul, and letting what actually lights us up, letting that guide the way. So I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. Let's start with the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands. Let's see what this epiphany, this shift is that's going on here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the High Priestess. I love it. So this is letting your intuition guide you. This is being patient. This is trusting that when you plant a seed, it's going to grow. You know, like whenever I plant, you know, some herbs outside, I'm not constantly digging it up and seeing if something is growing. No, I'm trusting that the water, the sun, you know, whatever's going on in that dirt, like all of that's going to work itself out, you know? So I just feel like this is a flowing, surrendering energy to your goals instead of trying to force or control. I like that. I like that. It's more of a balanced approach and listening to what actually feels right for you rather than doing what everyone else is doing or trying to be a copycat or something like that. We don't need to do that. This is trust and flow. Makes me think of Hustle and Flow. Never seen the movie, honestly. Kind of crazy. Maybe I should watch it. Okay. Five of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, this is like an energy of someone that's fighting, pushing, very determined. It's good to be determined. I don't want you guys to think I'm against that, because I'm definitely not. I'm a very determined and motivated person myself, but I'm not forcing or controlling, and that's the difference, I feel. Okay, tell me more about the Five of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. Yep. So this makes sense. We have the Devil card here, Two of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So this is realizing that this approach is you letting your fears control you. You see that? Yeah, we're not letting the devil freaking puppeteer us. What do I look like, Pinocchio? I don't think so. And this is you realizing that, like, hey, it may be a comfort zone. It may be what you're used to. Especially in America, we are raised to hustle and grind and go and, you know, sleep when you're dead and work 5 days a week for freaking like 40 hours if you're lucky. Some people are out here working 60, 70 hours, and it's crazy, you know? So it's like, we are very much taught that that is what is expected. That is what you do. You have to sacrifice to get where you want. But what's beautiful is we're all coming out of that. We're all realizing it can be easy. It can be flowy. It can be fun. And that's where you're allowing yourself to go. You're like, well, what if I did try it this way? And that's all Spirit's asking. Just try it. Just see what happens if you surrender a little bit in this process. Okay? Beautiful. See, yeah, the Hermit, the Emperor, the Six of Swords, the Hierophant. Like that's what you're going towards. You know, this is someone who knows what makes them happy. This is someone who knows their ability, their power, and they don't need to fight and claw and push to get where they want to be. They know that they're being guided. They know that they can trust their higher self and their soul. And they know that they have the ability to get things done when it's called for. But not every day is asking you to run uphill. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be a fight. I love it. Okay. Eight of Swords, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords. So I feel like that is you walking away from the confusion, from the overthinking, from the anxiety, freeing yourself because you realize you have a choice to do so, even though it may have been what you were used to. If it's not working for you anymore, you change it up whenever you want to. Okay? That's like getting a new look, doing your hair differently. If you can do that, you can do this. All right, let's see about it. Yeah. All right, we have the Six of Cups, Justice card, and what's funny, there's the Knight of Wands here, the Star, and the Seven of Wands. Yeah, it's like just realize that your goals, your desires, your dream come true. It is divinely protected. So know that you don't have to rush or compromise on that. But with Justice and the Six of Cups, this is very much so an energy of that inner child wound. And what's beautiful is with Justice, we're balancing that out. Okay, we're seeing the truth of it all rather than letting the lies and the illusions dictate how we move. We're taking the time to really assess our perspective and the narrative and saying, well, if this doesn't serve me, why am I doing it like this? If I feel like I'm in fight or flight mode, why don't I take a step back? You know? Tell me more about Justice and the Six of Cups, especially that Six of Cups. We've been seeing it a lot, so I think it'd be good to just get a little bit more clarity on that. Okay. Okay. For a lot of you, there could have been maybe some sort of betrayal that happened when you were a child. Like maybe your parents got divorced, or maybe you guys faced some sort of financial setback. That's what's ringing through your body right now. That's what gets you to push and force whatever. And I get that because I didn't grow up with a lot of money. You know, like I have 7 siblings and my parents were separated, and you know, it wasn't always like the easiest situation. So I can understand how that impacts my security and my feeling of having all my needs met. Like I understand that. But what we're not going to do is let it control us, you know, and we're not going to keep perpetuating that. And that's why it's important to sit with that energy and sit with your nervous system and remind these parts of you, I'm in a big body now. I'm safe now. You know? Because look, there's the Magician, the Two of Cups, the Empress. So even though this was a difficult situation for you to go through, this is exactly what you needed to not only recognize your power, right? Because sometimes when you don't come from a lot, you're more motivated than anything to get something, you know, which can be a very beautiful thing, right? Because it pushes you, but you can't let it scare you. And I think we're learning the difference in that now. And I like that. I could turn my ring light on because it's getting a little dark, but I honestly don't want to. So I won't. Okay, wait. I was about to move on. The Tower, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Yes. So there was definitely something that happened in childhood that disrupted the family unit. Okay. Whether that is some sort of divorce or some sort of loss or financial setback, health issues, whatever the case may be, the foundation of the family got rocked. So I understand that you're carrying that in the present day. But the thing is, that wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal from it so that way you're not perpetuating that cycle, even though it may show up differently for you now than it did when you were a child. Queen of Wands. That's about reclaiming your power. See, and she's got that little black cat, and she has the black cat in the other deck too. But that little cat represents her shadow. She's made a friend with it. She knows how to play with it, you know, knows how to rile it back in instead of going on a wild goose chase or letting the cat attack her, you know? You're a lot more powerful than you realize. Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups, Judgment, the King of Swords. So yeah, this is you getting back to your true self, following your heart. And I think that's exactly what was needed. And it was necessary to take the time to really assess these fears and these limitations and these things controlling you that have long been gone, you know? So now that you took the time to reflect on that, you can come back to your true self. There's a little fly here. There we go. Goodbye. All right, tell me more about the Ace of Cups, Judgment, the King of Swords. For some of you, music may have been like a big bonding thing for you and your family, whether that's like sitting around listening to music. Maybe you guys performed music together, going to concerts and stuff. So we have the Moon, the Six of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. See, I feel like you've brought balance to the higher self and the shadow self. Rather than letting one be in control over the other, which by the way, let's let the higher self do that if that was the vibe. But it's just it's balanced. It's also not only balanced, but I feel like a big shift in perspective is happening about like why do these things happen? Because I'm a big person that believes everything happens for a reason, whether it's a blessing or a lesson, it's something to be grateful for. And by the way, a lesson is a blessing because you learn, right? So I feel like instead of being in like the woe is me energy or feeling like I have to rectify this, and it's like, listen, it's a beautiful energy to, feel so motivated and so determined, but do it for you. Don't do it because of what happened in the past. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it because you feel like you have to prove something, because you don't. And the Wheel of Fortune. And I like this because both these cards have like black and white, right? With the I don't even know, energy coming from her hands and the wolves there. I like that. So it feels like there's just a lot of balance coming into place here. And with that balance, you're feeling more and more confident to move forward and, take a risk and put yourself out there and be open to new opportunities. I feel like before it was an energy of like, I want these opportunities and I'll try to do my best that I can to make them come to fruition. But now it's like, I know I'm meant for these opportunities. And I know everything I went through prepared me to be ready for them, to receive them, instead of feeling like I'm going to get this despite what I went through. And it's like, no, because of what I went through, I'm going to be able to get this. Does that make sense? And it takes a lot to be able to shift your perspective in that way. But when you do, ooh, you are unstoppable. And that's what I mean by reclaiming your power. It's not to say that these things didn't happen or that they didn't suck or it didn't hurt, but find purpose in it. Find the lesson in it. And when you do that, that's whenever you're able to like really create anything for yourself. Like it's so cool. All right, now let's see about the Lovers, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun card. Let's see what's going on there. Some sort of new opportunity, something like it feels like, this is the match of a lifetime. Like, I don't know. Okay. Definitely a new opportunity. It could be in work, some sort of promotion, some sort of growth happening here for you. All right, we have the Strength card, the Death card. I like that. The Eight of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Four of Swords. Okay, I like it. So yeah, the shift in perspective is happening here. This is like, instead of feeling like mad at the world or mad at the past or the cards you were dealt, this is you finally just embracing it for what it was. You know what I mean? Sometimes we try to not necessarily change what happened, but we want acknowledgement. We want the apology, we want the closure, we want someone to say, I shouldn't have done that. And a lot of the times we don't get that. So you have to find that peace and that acceptance within self. Because if you don't, then you're running around, bleeding on people who didn't cut you. And how is that serving you? It's not, you know? It serves you by helping you bring awareness to what it is you need to work on. And that's always good. With the Eight of Wands, Death card, the Strength card, yeah, I just feel like you're taking something and you're flipping it on its head. Instead of being like, oh, look at what happened to me, you're like, this happened to me and, it sucked, but it helped me learn some things and get where I wanted to be in the world. And that's really cool. It just feels like you've come such a long way, you know. And through this small shift, like, and I know I'm saying it's small and I know it takes a lot of work to do this stuff. Trust me, I know. But it's like this one like switch. That's what brings in all these opportunities. That's what really helps you elevate. It's by allowing yourself to see something differently. Okay, and not only like that shift from the past situations, but then it helps you see your present differently. And it helps you recognize that, wait a minute, luck is on my side. Because look at all these things that I just went through or that I've been through, whatever. Look at all that. And look at what I've been able to turn it into. Look at how great I am. That is really cool. It's like you see the blessings from the past due to a shift perspective. And that helps welcomes your blessings in the future. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, we're going to close it out with some oracle card pulls just to see what else Spirit wants to tell us, what other guidance we may have. Okay, let's see about it. All right, let's close it out, Spirit, please and thank you. Okay. See, confidence is your key to success. Not being too prideful, but knowing that luck is on your side, knowing that you are abundant. There's a lot to be grateful for, and taking the time to scan through all that and just recognizing where that's at in your life right now. Okay, that's cool. All right, nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. Now, this can sound scary, but it's also a relief, right? Because you may think, okay, in order for me to get somewhere, I have to do all these things, but nothing is set in stone. Okay. And that's also good because, maybe after, some time of reflection, you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing all these things, but I'm actually not passionate about it. You're allowed to change. We all have free will. That's one of the great things about being a human. We can do what we want to do. We can change our mind whenever we want. We can turn around, go forward, stand still if we want to. Keep that autonomy, you know? All right, the end of a tough cycle approaches full moon in Capricorn. I like that. I feel like something that has felt like, an uphill battle is finally softening. And I feel like you've been putting in a lot of hard work, and it's time to welcome the soft era. Welcome ease, easy breezy, beautiful. Cover girl. Okay. A new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So we did see a lot of like Emperor, Empress, Two of Cups, the Lovers, Ten of Cups, all that energy. So I think as you heal that inner child wound, it's naturally going to not only attract these new opportunities, but, maybe something romantic. And if you're not open to that, or maybe you're with someone like you're fully married and happy or whatever, this can be romanticizing your life and seeing things in a more beautiful, optimistic lens, which also is a beautiful blessing. So get into it. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching. If you are still here with me, thank you so much. Love you. But I offer a newsletter. So whenever I do my full moon, new moon readings, I always do a ritual video to go with that. That is only for the newsletter people. So if you want to receive that newsletter ritual, go down to the description box below, go to my website and sign up for that. If you are wanting services from me, I do all sorts of stuff. I do healing ceremonies, cord cutting rituals, personalized meditations, affirmations, all that stuff. So if you're wanting that, go to my website. I also have all my social media down below, so check it out. And I always post the video for the new moon, full moon before I do the newsletter. So that way, if it's taken you a couple days to get to the video, you will still be able to sign up for the newsletter to receive the ritual. Okay. And that's going to be on the 19th. So take your time, but sign up if you want it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Bye bye. Love you.